Homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk. Homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Thubten Torji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahamayuri Buddha, Mahamayuri Sutra, Mahamayuri Assembly. Simu, Danchen Gatso, all Dhamma Masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, all disciples present here over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are Accountant to True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband. Overseas Advisor to the Republic of China, Taiwan, Miss Winnie Xie. President of the Natural Greenland Company, Mr. Ton. PR Director of True Buddha School Taiwan Temple, Dharma Brother Fermi Wong. Dr. Olivia and husband. Dr. Ryan Zhong and wife. Dr. J.D. Gao. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? I would like to announce for next Sunday, October 20th at 3 p.m. there would be Kalachakra Homa fire offering ceremony. I expounded 2 herukas for a longer time and in complete details. One is Kalachakra, the other one is Hevajra. So Hevajra, typically in Tibet, only transmitted by Dalai Lama, Panchen Lama, and the great Rinpoches. And most other gurus do not transmit Kalachakra Dharma. And the Kalachakra practice procedure, sadhana, was given to me by Master Thubten Dorji. And he also bestowed the empowerment upon me. Explanation and the sadhana of Kalachakra. The mudra for Kalachakra, this is the mudra of the wheel of time, Kalachakra. That was the mantra. And you have seen Kalachakra Tanka. Once in Indonesia, when I performed Kalachakra ceremony, the grand ceremony, and I had performed Kalachakra ceremonies at many countries around the world. And when I transmitted the Kalachakra Dharma in Indonesia, Kalachakra entered into the smoke of the incense that I was holding, and the smoke showed the Dharma body appearance of Kalachakra, face to face with myself. You may have seen the photo. I was holding the incense, and the smoke of the incense formed the face of Kalachakra with eyes, nose, mouth, lips, showing a wrathful face appearance face to face with myself. So that was the sign of Kalachakra descending upon the smoke of the incense that Grandmaster was holding, and he showed his look there. On my book number 243, and also in the Ranteng Enlightenment magazine. The title was Smoke that formed the face of Kalachakra facing Grandmaster, facing each other. It's quite amazing. This is a tablet. So the smoke became the look of Kalachakra's face, exactly the same. Quite remarkable. So at the Kalachakra ceremony in Indonesia, they took a patient with needles on them and took him out from the hospital and taken to the ceremony and passed by the empowerment banner, and immediately he could stand up. So for Kalachakra Homa and ceremony, the True Buddha Foundation has a very special restrictions and rules, because in Tibetan Buddhism, other than the great Rinpoches, nobody could transmit Kalachakra. And this is something special and extraordinary for True Buddha School, and Grandmaster has been in spiritual union with Kalachakra. So I welcome your participations next Sunday, because this kind of ceremony is very rare and special. Today we had the Homa of Mahamayuri. This deity is also very supreme. I greatly admire two mantras. The sound of the mantra. One is the mantra of Mahotara Heruka. I really like. And the second mantra that I really admire is the mantra of Mahamayuri. because these two mantras can cure illnesses. In Taiwan, at the CKS Memorial Park, so the name of the park has been changed to the Freedom Square, and we perform Mahotara Heruka ceremony there, and there were many miracles. It cured the sicknesses of many people, including those who were not true Buddha school disciples. Someone with tumor on his throat was on the bus to the hospital, and the bus passed by that Freedom Square, and he heard that mantra, the sound of that mantra, and he felt his whole body became warm. He did not lose consciousness, just he felt the warmth. And when he got to the hospital and had the tumor checked, it was very strange. The doctor said, "There's no tumor on your throat." And he said, "Sure, I had it. So I'm here to have it examined." But the doctor said, "No, no more." That in the morning, there was still a tumor on his neck, and by passing by the Freedom Square and hearing the sound of the mantra, the tumor was gone. There were many miracles, and someone, the thumb and the index finger could not separate, and after the ceremony, they can be separated. So there were many miracles with Mahotara Heruka and Mahamayuri, which is today's Yidam. Why Mahamayuri Dharma practice can cure illnesses? Because when peacocks eat poison, their feathers becoming more beautiful. See what Grandmaster is wearing today is the peacock robe, not dragon robe. So it's very special today. Peacock. So I wear the peacock robe. Who made this? Lotus Light Temple, who offered it to me, and the abbot of the Lotus Light Temple. Where is she? She feels unwell in her leg, then she should have come. That's illness, right? If you have an illness, you should have the peacock to pick on the illness. Oh, so she missed the chance. So now her sick legs will not be cured. And we should tell her this thick and heavy peacock robe, but they use such tiny buttons, so tiny that I can't even barely see. When I button them and I move, then it will split up. So tell her that when they make a heavy robe, they should use bigger buttons. Otherwise, this tiny button is just so weak. You should create a buttonhole and a button then it will not undone so easily like this. Oh, too bad. Didn't she know that today we had Mahamayuri? Mahamayuri specialized in curing illnesses, any parts of your body that's in pain, and you have the peacock to pick on them, and it would pick the illness away. Oh, I guess she will not feel better then. She has some leg pain. What a coincidence. And today it's Mahamayuri. And I'm wearing the peacock robe from her to especially cure her leg. And she did not come. Amitabha. That's faith. That's really her faith. Those that's supposed to get better did not get better, but those who were not meant to be all got better. So the peacock of the Mahamayuri has the ability to cure illnesses, any infection and inflammation, any pain. The peacock will be able to cure it. Even when you're poisoned, you can be cured. Because when a peacock eats poison, his feathers would shine. It's very bright and shining. And just now, we recited Namo Mahamayuri Buddha, Namo Mahamayuri Sutra, Namo Mahamayuri Assembly and Retinues. Primarily because Mahamayuri Buddha, because Mahamayuri is a Buddha. And because his crown is Vairocana crown, to represent that he was an emanation of Vairocana Buddha. And the peacock is emanation or transformation body of Amitabha Buddha. In the Western paradise, as mentioned in the Amitabha Sutra, there are peacocks, kalavinkas, and many other birds. And they were all transformed by Amitabha Buddha. So therefore, the peacock symbolizes the transformation body of Amitabha Buddha. And Sakyamuni Buddha, in one of his past life, in his practice of bodhisattvahood, he was a peacock king. So Sakyamuni Buddha was a physical emanation as a peacock king. And the transformation body is Amitabha Buddha, and the emanation body from Vairocana Buddha. So on his body, there are three bodies. The power, the majestic power of one Buddha is so great already. Moreover, three Buddhas. So we chant Namo Mahamayuri Buddha, because he's a union of three Buddhas. Namo Mahamayuri Sutra, that's the Dharma. Like in the Fourfold Refuge, Namo Gurupe, Namo Mahamayuri Buddha, Namo Mahamayuri Sutra. which symbolize the Dharma. Namo Mahamayuri assembly. All of his retinues up, including the 7 Buddhas, and down, including all the zodiac constellations, are all part of the family or retinue of Mahamayuri. Therefore, he is truly formidable, powerful. There are 2 mantras that can cure illnesses. One belongs to Mahotara Heruka, the other one belongs to Mahamayuri. Mahamayuri ceremonies or homas can cure illnesses. As you pass by the empowerment banner later, remember, as you're passing by, any part of your body that's inflamed and in pain, you touch it. If there are 3 places, because you only have 2 hands, right? Then you should visualize the 3rd part. Say if you have headache, 1 hand, leg pain with another hand, and you have stomach pain, then you just visualize the stomach. So use your hands to touch the painful area of your body. And I hope that Mahamayuri would bless as we chant the Mahamayuri mantra. We pray to Mahamayuri to please descend, radiate light, and bless anyone with illnesses so that they can be completely cured. I hope there will also be miracles, which is extremely wonderful. And the mudra, this is the mudra of the peacock mudra with the head and the tail. And this one is with the wings flying. This is also Mahamayuri mudra, or the inner claps, which means enclosed. The peacock feathers are not extended. And the mantra is very powerful. Who composed this? Om Moili Gelati Soha. Or the other mantra, Om Tika Lala Soha. Then her look, his appearance, with 4 arms, one hand is holding the peacock feather. That's for subjugation. And the other hand is holding a white lotus. And the white lotus is for purification. And he's also holding the auspicious fruit, or the red matulonga fruit for love and harmony, and an auspicious fruit that's for enrichment. So purification, enrichment, subjugation, and magnetization are all encompassed. He can do all 4 kinds. So if you practice Mahamayuri, purification, enrichments, magnetization, and subjugation will be complete. Once you gain spiritual union with this deity, that would be incredible. And you're guaranteed to be reborn into the pure Buddha land. and it can also guarantee good health and longevity. Good health and longevity. Now let's continue to talk about Lamdre. Yesterday we were talking about accepting the nectar, and today we will be talking about determination. Accepting the nectar you may understand still, but let me read this excerpt. A warning here. If the appearance of all kinds of external circumstances can be transformed into nectar, then can the desire of sentient beings be transformed into meditation? That's the question. The answer, no. Wrong. This is in the verse. The purification of all things arises when they are determined to be intrinsically empty. Here it is stated to determine, because accepting the nectar is not the determination yet. So the meaning is, all realms are initially unborn, yet not unborn and non-ceasing. They are empty, and this is the self-nature of the three liberation doors. The yogi is knowledgeable in the sense that true is true. It is true. Determining that the realm is unborn, determining that the meditation at will, determining on the unborn illusions to be untied. The mundane people, not recognizing it, are tied down by it. So the question is, why the mundane people are held in bondage by these realms, yet the sages can gain liberation by relying on them? The answer, untying the bondage is not due to the realm. It is in utilizing the skillful means. When the mind is abiding on the realm, and one recognizes the meditation, as well as applying the formula of self-will, which is referred as the differentiating as the pre-practice warm-up as the meditation, this is the reason for the liberation. If one cannot recognize the situation, which is referred as the continuum of differentiating, or the demon of stolen practice of differentiating, then it becomes the continual differentiating thoughts of the mundane, and this is the reason why it is a bondage. Therefore, when one knows whether to be in bondage or to be freed by applying one's own skillful means to determine that the realm is unborn and can only be empty. This way, the three instructions on realizations teach how to make the unabiding mind abide through the essential, assiduous, skillful means of meditation, which is the remedy to counterbalance the obstructions due to afflictions created by the poison of karma and continual thoughts. So I finished reading this part of the words. So let me ask the people that I asked last night, Danchen Kato, what did it mean? He shook his head. Please sit down. He didn't even say a word. And then Master Lien Wang, they say like when your eyelids keeps jumping. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning and your eyelids keep jumping and you wonder what happened. It's best if you just glue a piece of white paper on your eyelid. Then it's called like a blank jump, or in Chinese it's like no use. So it's the same what Master Lien Wang said. It's like it's the same as not saying anything. First, we were talking about accepting the nectar, right? It's beneficial to meditation. But is accepting the nectar meditation? Of course not. It's just a method for you to concentrate, but it is not meditation. So that's the answer here. If this external circumstances can be transformed into nectar, then can the desire of sentient beings be transformed into meditation? No. Because in the verse it is stated, the purification of all things arises when they are determined to be empty. And here it also talks about the 3 liberation doors, that all realms are intrinsically unborn, yet not unborn and non-ceasing. This is spoken by the Buddha Sakyamuni. The 3 liberation doors are unborn, not unborn, and non-ceasing. I remember the Buddha said, Manjushri Bodhisattva did not talk about 3 liberation doors. The 500 monks heard Manjushri Bodhisattva and they told him that Sakyamuni Buddha taught us about unborn, not unborn, and not cease. But Manjushri Bodhisattva did not talk about 3 liberation doors. So the 500 monks said, how dare he compare to Sakyamuni Buddha? Sakyamuni Buddha was talking about the 3 liberation doors. But how could Manjushri Bodhisattva not talking about that? What did he mean? So the 500 monks did not want to listen to Manjushri Bodhisattva, and they regarded him to be deviant. They did not want to listen to his teaching and they left. And then Sakyamuni Buddha told the 500 monks that Manjushri Bodhisattva was right. Because what Manjushri Bodhisattva was teaching is even more sublime, has deeper and profound meaning. So Manjushri Bodhisattva eventually explained, that's how it was. So why do we need liberation? Liberation is just an ideal, an assumption. In Taiwan, we have this political topic. useless. Like useless topic of discussion. Like the presidential candidate Han Kuo-yu said, that we have to change the air pollution. That when he's elected president, he wants to change back to nuclear power plant. And the mayor of the new Taipei city said that's the nonsense, useless topic of discussion. Because they say that in order to make it into nuclear power plant, they require 8 years, but the presidential term is only 4 years, so how could it make it happen? So that's why he said it's a nonsensical topic of discussion. So now I use it on these words. So the 3 liberation doors as spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha was a nonsensical topic of discussion, according to Manjushri. And he said, because that's how it is. I am already liberated. How could I be held in bondage? Why do we need 3 doors of liberations? I've never been in bondage. So that's why it's more profound. Who can bind the sky, the empty space, the cosmic space? Does the cosmic space need liberation? No. So the cosmic space is thus. It doesn't need the 3 liberation doors. That's why it is a useless topic of discussion. The 3 liberation doors is just an ideal goal. So what Manjushri Bodhisattva was talking about is the most profound meaning. Because let me tell you that we all were liberated, but why are we now held in bondage by our circumstances? So are you in a state where your surroundings or circumstances bind your mind, or your mind bind the circumstances? Sometimes you say like, oh geez, I'm I'm held in bondage, say in the career, by your career, or in the family, by the family, or by money, or by lawsuits. And if you are fearful, then you're held in bondage by your own fear. So among the disciples here, who has no fear? I'd like to ask you, is there a person without fear? So when you wonder what can be done, what cannot be done, that's fear. And if you do something that cannot be done, then you're fearful. Then you're being tied down. Please raise your hand if you have no fear. If you're afraid to be old, afraid of wrinkles, then you're held in bondage by the wrinkles. Then you're tied down by the wrinkles. And sometimes in romantic love, you're being bound by the love. So, romantic love or marriage, then you're bound by the marriage. Or if you have children, you're bound by your children or grandchildren, or money. Or if you want to win the lottery, then you would be bound by the lottery, or whatever you do. Whatever, that's the bondage. If you're completely in charge of yourself, you have self-mastery, you're fearless, then nothing can bind you. And you're not afraid of death either. Then you're not bound by death. So when spiritual cultivators can reach such a state, then you're fearless, you're not afraid of anything. Then you're not bound by your fear. If you're afraid that your boyfriend will leave you, then you're bound by your boyfriend. If you're afraid that your girlfriend will leave you, then you're bound by your girlfriend. So this bondage, actually, you're binding yourself. So what the Buddha said about the 3 liberation doors are correct. The first one is unborn. If you're not, if you are unborn, then you're not bound. And then not unborn. So even the unborn does not exist. Then of course you're liberated. And non-ceasing. So you will not cease. You will not disappear. Some people is afraid that they will disappear, so they'll be bound by it. And the yogi is knowledgeable. Like what Manjushri Bodhisattva said, that's how it is. Like the cosmic space, not bound by anything. If that's the case, you can enter into meditation. Because you're bound, that's why you cannot enter into meditation. If you're not bound by anything, then you can enter into meditation. It's a very simple concept. So the circumstances bound you, but if your mind transcends or goes beyond the circumstances, then you're not bound. So this is cutting off all bondage. So the question, why the mundane people are held in bondage by the realms, but the sages gain liberation from it? Very simple answer. Most mundane people would be bound by the circumstances. But when a sage in the same circumstances will the circumstances have no power to bind the sage, because even the aging, old age, and sickness and death will not bind the sage. So that's why in our spiritual cultivation, you have to have the mind to kill the circumstances, to make yourself, to transcend your surrounding circumstances. Then you have succeeded. You have succeeded and you will not be bound. The Tai Pai Jing Xin asked the Wang Mu Nyang Nyang, why does the Jade Emperor keep looking down upon the Saha world? Oh yeah, it turned out that they're looking at the woman, the beautiful ladies down there. And not just the Jade Emperor, actually all the sages are looking down nowadays because the girls, the ladies nowadays wear so little. So she said, like, well, let's get them a smock, so to block the view. And then they said, sure. Yeah, I've said this before. There is a sage in Japan called Jumi sage. He was flying high in the sky, very carefree and very happy. And then through the clouds, he inadvertently glanced at the beautiful lady washing clothes by the river. And because she was washing the clothes, so she had to squat, and the kimono got loose and showed the bust line. And two white bun-like things that were about to jump out from the kimono. And the sage, seeing that, generated a thought of desire, and he fell off the clouds. So when Japanese women washing clothes by the river, they would hear the sound in the water, boom, boom, boom. Many sages fell into the water. So what's the reason? So the sage is supposed to be carefree and at ease, because the sage can fly, and just because the two white buns, and with the thought of desire, just one thought of desire appeared, he fell off the clouds, and he has no more self-mastery, and he became bound. But if you have great self-mastery, and you're free and easy, and even with two white buns and the bust line that were about to jump off the kimono, and you saw that, and just two buns, no effect. He's still carefree. Then he will not be held in bondage. If you just treat them as buns, there's a joke. A man and a woman were going to the motel, and the man took off all his clothes, and now it's the woman's turn, but she did not want to take off her clothes. Well, we're here already. Why don't you take off your clothes? Well, because my boobs are not big. I don't want to take them off. So, but how big is it? Just like orange. Orange, not bad. That's fine. Just take them off. So she took off the clothes. It turned out to be like a kumquat, which is like a tiny, like a finger size orange citrus fruit. It's really tiny. It's as big as the top of the thumb. But this kumquat is also a kind of orange or citrus. And I ate some this afternoon. So that's the question, the issue between being bound or not being bound. and a couple with the family names Qian and the female Xu. So because she has no brothers, so they negotiate to have the children to have her family name. So they were arguing about how to name the children, and they almost got divorced. But when she gave birth, it was resolved because they have twins. So one with the family name Qian, the other one with the family name Xu. One is called Xu To Qian, which is in Chinese like lots of money, and the other one is money, lots. So a human being is always bound by money. Having money, even by having money, you can even have ghosts helping you work. So money is very important. Money can solve 99% of all problems, and the remaining 1%, why it cannot be resolved? Because it just requires, the remaining 1% requires more money. So when you have money, you can resolve anything. So that's why human beings are often bound by money. When you don't have the desire for money, you have transcended the money, then you will not be bound by money. So the excerpt today is about this. When nothing can bind you anymore, you will be able to enter into meditation. So there are many difficulties to enter into meditation because you're bound or you're held in bondage. And in order to enter into meditation, you have to untie all those bondage, to unbind yourself. I heard the announcement at the from the radio about traffic, transportation. A man made a phone call and said, the fog is very heavy. They cannot see the traffic lights. So, and when he saw its red light, there were already 5 cars in collision. And then the policeman replied, don't worry, because it's very foggy, the camera cannot take pictures of your license plates. One with worries or concerns are being bound, and the other one is to unbind. Xiaoming told the teacher, I don't feel well. Is it okay if I skip class tomorrow? And the teacher said, sure. And which part of your body that's unwell? And Xiaoming replied, my heart, I feel unwell. And the teacher said, come here. I promise I will not hit you. Which means in Chinese is I am upset when my heart doesn't feel well. That's also a bondage. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's mental. Your inner states. And sometimes the bondage of your inner mind is even worse. I When I was little, I would play outside for the whole day. I didn't do any homework. When I got home, my mom would be by the door and I knew I was wrong. So my mom was sitting there and I lack confidence. I have a guilty conscience. So I didn't dare to get through the door. But my mom said, "Come in, don't worry, I will not beat you." See, I catch some fish and some shells and some seaweeds and a lot of things. So we can have some seaweed soup and also fish. I carry a bucket with me. And mom said, "Don't worry, I will not beat you." So so I walked through the door without worry, and it turned out she took the and the cane, and then she beat me to death. And then from then on, I knew that my mom also lied. So this is all about bondage. The homework bound me. So I was bound by the homework from school. I played outside all day, so I bound myself because I knew I didn't do any homework. And I got home, and my family also bound me. My mom bound me. So that's why so many things. So you have to abandon all these bondages in order to enter into samadhi. Someone asked the great master, "Can you please help me and consult it and tell me when I will have lots of money?" And the great master replied, when your family members visit you at the cemetery, they would give you lots of money. They burn the paper money. Then you would have lots of money then. So the master is quite humorous. So we are all held in bondage by money. If you worry about money, how can you enter into samadhi? Grandmaster is not bound by cell phones. A lot of people are bound by cell phones. And if you are, it's difficult to enter into samadhi, let me tell you. 6 years ago, when we go out to dinner, we pay cash. And 2 decades ago, we swiped cards. And now, we just swipe our cell phones. So this shows that in the future, it's almost impossible to find money on the street. In the past, things that never separate from you are called a couple, and now it's the cell phone. And with the cell phone at hand, then it lasts a long time, but without the cell phone, you lose your soul. So the ancient people have seen this long ago. And that's why they have this idiom that's called you cannot lose the device, but it also means the opportunity. So nowadays, people are being bound by the cell phones. There's only one person without cell phone, so she's not bound by it. She's very smart, not being bound by the cell phone, but can you enter into meditation? It's easier if you're not bound by cell phones to enter into meditation. A kid told his dad, just now someone called me stupid. And dad said, who? Who dare to call my son stupid? Then his student is an idiot. I mean, his son would be an idiot. Tell me who. Oh, it's granddad. So, let me tell you one thing. It's very simple. If someone scolds you today and you're unmoved by it, then you would be able to enter into samadhi. Grandmaster, by someone with the Yao family name in Taiwan, and Tang family name in Taiwan, and from Singapore, and family name Zheng, and from Malaysia, a family name whatever. And on the internet, they created a huge commotion to slander and defame Grandmaster for many years. I'm very lucky because I have no smartphones, no tablets, no computers. I've never seen their defamations. So in my opinion, they never defame me. So I've lived my life for years and able to enter into samadhi. Why? Because I have transcended all those slanders and defamations. Only those who have transcended name and reputation are able to enter into samadhi. Om Mani Padme Hum.